Hello, everyone. I wanted to come on today to talk about a topic that has been growing in me for a moment. And My name is Kathy. I'm a Christian T-shirt lady. I love this T-shirt that I'm wearing now. It says I'm running after something that's running after me. So I actually thought I was going to get on here and talk about how we pursue our relationship with Jesus Christ. With the same spirit that we pursue some of the other things that I've been noticing on all the different in the internet streets. However, um, just had a little strange situation happen to me online, and it was very telling. And this is like the third time it has happened. So I want to say every day I wake up a black woman. I am black. I'm an African American. There's nothing I can do about it. It reminded me of the time when I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So I caught the bus. We have the MARTA, then we have the Rapid Rail. So I was on the bus, and I remember getting on the Rapid Rail, and there's a Caucasian female on the bus, and she grabbed her purse, and she was looking at me like she thought I was going to attack her. Of course, I didn't know she was looking at me like that, so I kind of looked behind me, but no, she was looking at me, and I was like, so is she just judging me because I'm a black person? So it's gotten worse over the years. And it's even gotten worse since this presidential election. I'm a veteran. I did 26 years in the Navy. I have all kinds of friends from all over the world. But one of the things I noticed is when we started talking politics and they started just talking crazy stuff, really about Black people. And so now we've coined so many phrases. One of them is um, the crazy black woman, the African American experience, Karen's, white privilege. We've just made up terms to describe everything up under the sun. Where in the past we just suffered in silence, we've tried to identify these things. But of course, I'm also a born again Christian, and we are taught that God is no respecter of person. We are to love everyone. You should know them by the love that they show one another. So if you say you're a Christian, there shouldn't ever be any talk of the races. You do, you do see color, you do see all of these things, but we give grace and mercy, kindness, compassion, and consideration because for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. That's John 3:16. So God has already given us a way to love each other. And then he said he make us the sun to shine on the just and the unjust. Then he said the wheat and the tear, they're actually growing together. So you're going to be in this world with everybody in this world, but not of this world. And so I always will always give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But I had a situation where I was online and I heard one of the people that I follow. I'm not going to call his name because it's his business. But the bottom line is, I've even bought some of his products. I wanted to speak in some of his things. I've done his webinars, at least three of them. And he was just out there talking generally and casually about a whole lot of things. And then he hit on, and I'm seeing this a lot. This is third time I entered into a chat room and they was low key making racist remarks. And then I said, "What are you saying? Black women, so should I even be in this room?" So when I start hearing things like that, I wonder if I should be in the room anyway. So, but he was talking about fathers and prisons and how to be a good father and how can you be a good father when you're in prison. Okay, so yes, automatically I know you're talking in your white privilege because everybody that is not an Indian or an African American were able to come over here as refugees. But you drug us over here as slaves. You want to talk white history. See, I find myself, y'all want to have white history so bad that you act like you can't remember your history. Every time you look at me, remember your history. We were in Africa. You brought us over here. Go back to Africa. But can we do that? Anglo Saxons, can we? Just you pillaged and stole And actually, you built your homes in the places in Africa because you're not Africans, so that no black people could actually go back. Can they? How could we? We were in chains. We could no more leave a plantation than the man in the moon. It took generations upon generations, a whole civil war, all of that. So the economics of that now, conversely, is the fact that the prison system, which is mostly black, I'm not going to quote none of this stuff, and don't come over here telling me what it is, and you can Google it for yourself. I am not that girl, okay? I'm just going to talk about what happened with me. So I went on there and I said, wow, I'm surprised you're talking about this because it's a deeper conversation when you're talking about black men in the prison system, because there's been so many bad things and so many presidents say no to drugs, Reagan, and so many things that you call drugs. And then it's about if you get a good lawyer. If you don't get a good lawyer, it's economics. And you made a whole business out of getting people in prison, the black prisons. You're going to pull people over driving while black hoping, because the prison system, you can't even buy a bar. Everything is money. You got to constantly put money on the books for these people. If you open up a prison and you feel that with black people, you also, it's a business because the government's going to pay you millions. So you enslaved us, economically deprived us. You did a whole lot of stuff. Then it's an actual fact that you pump drugs such as crack into our neighborhoods. This is factual. So you're going to talk about being a father? Then you told black women, in order to get food stamps and welfare, that they couldn't have the men living with them. So fathers they couldn't get a job, they couldn't buy a house. It's such a deeper conversation, but y'all don't ever want to have the conversation. So I put some comments in there and I said, if you're going to talk about that, you need to talk about the economics of it. Oh, he came on, you've been unsubscribed. Of course I've been unsubscribed. So of course I said, I'm glad to unsubscribe me, because I'm sick and tired of you guys low key thinking you can shade black people and thinking that we're dumb and we're ignorant. Because yes, my mother never graduated. She had 10 kids. I'm the seventh kid. She was married to my father. Then she married my stepfather and had 3 more kids. So that's how she wound up with 10 kids. Before y'all jump in, now you got something to say about something to say. But me, I never saw my father. He died when I was in my 40s, but he went on down to Florida, changed his name, had another family. It's a big old family reunion because they have notoriously, him and his brothers did some notorious stuff, and they make a joke of it. I didn't make a joke of it because I took it serious. I would have liked to have known my father. That's the economics of it, though. It's a much deeper conversation. We're not having these conversations. You just own a little thing because you're a billionaire, and you get black people, everybody, because everybody want to be a speaker. Everybody want to, you guys build these systems and you tell people, oh, you can join me for 5,000, for 6,000. You can do that. So of course people want to do that, but I'm only interested, to tell you the truth, in building with people that want to build with me. Because the reality of who I am is every single day I wake up black. And I'm not like Michael Jackson. I'm not going to color my skin and call it vitiligo or whatever. You see this big old nose? African, from the descendants. I'm not going to cut my nose up. I'm not going to do all the stuff, add more booty. I'm not doing none of that. This is me 100% on natural. It is what it is. And unfortunately, or not unfortunately, we have to make these decisions. And now that you guys have gotten bolder and bolder, because now that you're a billionaire, your empire is not threatened. You can say what you want to say in these rooms. And now I think this is where there's going to be a split in the road, because the wheat and the tare are growing together. You think all these people are good guys, and these people are not. You're not willing to have a high level conversation about the bad things, and then you got the Kens and Karens out there talking about White History Month, and then you billionaires want to low key shade. Now, me and my sisters, we all got married. Some of us went to college. Some of us joined the military because we wanted to be more than our mother, and my mother wanted us to be more. But not everybody made it out because of the economics. When you have 10 kids, to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. But however, comma, this is an ongoing problem that we need to find real solutions for. So you white people getting on these podcasts and stuff talking about it, low key trying to shade black people, because that's all it is. Let's call it spade a spade. It's not gonna it's not going to do anything. So thank you for unsubscribing me, because every day I wake up, I am who I am. And God said I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm very happy to still be alive. I'm very happy that God made me. Things might have been easier if he had made me white, blonde hair, blue eyes. I couldn't have this conversation because I wouldn't know anything about what it is to be an African American. Who knows? I might even have been a billionaire. So many doors have been closed for Black people. It is ridiculous. But we still rise. Thank you, Maya Angelou. We're still going to do what we do because God has blessed us to do what we do. But it is an inconvenient truth. And until you Americans, Caucasian Americans, Spanish Americans, because many of you guys feel that way too, until you wake up and understand that God made all of us, we all have to have opportunities to survive. And it does make a difference. The Black people were enslaved. You Spanish people, you haven't been enslaved. You don't know nothing about none of that. You need to take a seat and take several seats if you think you can come for Black people, because you cannot. Nobody can come for the Black race. African Americans in America, you can't. If the prisons fill and overflow, it's economics. And some of those people you can't even have the conversation with because it's too many things. All we can do now is pray. All we can do now is find solutions, and we can try to get people to have wisdom in some of their actions. But as far as wanting to be welcomed in a room where you have unsubscribed me, even though you said I can resubscribe, I wish I would. I wish I would. If anybody needs to shift, it's you. I will not shift because every day I wake up, this is me right here, Black, female, African American. So those are three things that I have to